Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and iTWire video. Today I'm joined again by Matthew Tumminello. He's the ANZ Product Marketing Manager of Dynabook. Welcome back to the program.
Great to see you, Alex. How are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm sure you've been doing a lot of things with new laptops with Windows 11, all new form factors. I mean, give us a quick update on Toshiba since we last spoke.
Well, there, the Toshiba Dynabook brand, we're out there strong at the moment. We've been
Sorry, yeah,
traveling
and of
around.
course Toshiba. Dynabook. They're, in my mind, they're the one. But yeah, Dynabook.
Well, they are. They are. I mean, that brand's
Yeah,
been in Japan since 1989, right? So it's only the rest of the world that's getting used to it.
yeah.
All the rest of us are, getting used to it. Japan's no change for them. But yeah, we've actually been out on the road for the last 3 weeks, running around across Australia and New Zealand. Letting everyone know what we're up to and informing them about all our exciting sort of, as you say, Windows 11, but 12th Gen, and some fantastic new technologies as well. So it's been great.
One of the features that I've been aware of myself for a number of years is blue light. Now, before we get onto that,
hmm
why has the health impact of screen time, never been so important?
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. When we've just launched a product with Eyesafe technology, right? And Eyesafe technology is all about, it's a group of engineers and doctors that have formed this organization to set standards across all this sort of thing. And you asked me what's important about it, and I probably wasn't informed enough, I'd say, 6 months ago or 12 months ago. But having read up a lot about it more recently, I was really surprised at some of the data. So just a really quick hit on that data. What do you think the average screen time is these days across all devices? So laptops, mobile phones, desktops, TVs, everything.
Probably
What do you
more,
think it is?
probably more than 8 hours, more than a working day, because we're stuck glued to our screens.
Yeah, it's more. And like I thought, maybe 10. It's more. It's 13 hours is the average. And I find that a bit mind-blowing, to be honest. I use technology, and as do you, a lot, right? But 13 hours is a lot when you consider you should be getting, what, 7, 8 hours sleep out of 24 hours. That's only leaving you 16, 17 hours. So we're now saying, what, 3 or 4 hours we're not looking at a screen, which is, like, I find that a lot, but yeah, amazing.
So, for those who want to know, what actually is blue light?
Yeah, sure. So blue light comes in different forms. So when we talk about the sun, blue light's in a nice spectrum of light, right? So it's all evenly measured. There's lots of health benefits, mood elevation, vitamin D, etc., around sunlight and blue light. But when you have a look at it on screens like LEDs, TFTs, any sort of digital screen, the blue light's quite a really sharp spike, and the rest of it, the spectrum is quite about it's about half or even less than half. So it's quite a noticeable blue spike, and I think that's the issue when it's not in context. That's when that blue light can go from being good to being harmful towards things like your eyes, obviously. So yeah. It's good for you. So I'm definitely saying get out in the sunlight. But when it comes to screen time, I think the answer is you need to manage it is probably the best answer I can give you on that.
Sure. I mean, I always read that blue light is the part of the light that the eyes see, and the brain gets the signal from the blue light to wake up. And so, if you're using your device late at night and you're getting this blue light from your LED or LCD screens, your brain is being told, wake up, even though it could be midnight.
Yeah, exactly. So the benefits of blue light are things like it promotes alertness, it boosts your memory, your cognitive function, elevates your mood, your circadian rhythm. So it has many good properties and good effects on humans particularly. But I think, as I said, when it comes to the screen and when that blue light's quite a sharp spike compared to the rest of the light spectrum, I think that's when the issues start to occur.
Well, it's also because, humans didn't have devices that could give them blue light for the however many millions of years we've been evolving on this planet. And so when you get blue light and you're doing it at 2 in the morning, it's not a good thing. And there are different things that screen makers have done in terms of making the color warmer, and you can also buy these various glasses and things that block blue light.
Yep,
But who needs to
yep.
be aware of the effects of blue light?
Well, it's interesting. So once you start reading up on this, and I'm going to give you a little personal, a circumstantial event around this as well. So I started reading up on this and thinking, oh, okay, so what's all this blue light about, right? And then what I found was one of the statistics within that is that the people that are most affected are kids around 10 and people under 25, particularly. So largely that is children, students. And at that stage, when your eye's developing, about at around 10, they reckon 65% of that blue light goes right through the eye, right to the back, to the retina, right? And that causes problems. After 25, it starts to go down. I think even once you're over 60, it's down to sort of 30, 40%. And you're probably starting to have some eye troubles by then anyway, I would think. But yeah, so what I found probably most concerning was that age period where it has the most effect for someone who's probably not managing the blue light very well. So as you say, glasses, maybe having regular breaks. Eyesafe recommend this 20-20-20 rule, which is every 20 minutes, look away for 20 seconds at something that's 20 feet or more away. And it's just to give your eyes a break, right? So yeah, and my personal experience with this is, as I was reading up on all this, I've got three children, and my eldest, who's 17, was complaining of sore eyes, and we went and got him tested, and he needs glasses. And I was I was a little bit shocked, only because I don't wear glasses. I mean, I'm probably getting to a point where I probably need to go get my eyes checked, but I'm quite a bit older. The mother of the children, she didn't wear glasses till sort of around 30, I think I'm going to say. So why does my 17-year-old have glasses, or why does he need glasses? And so I'm actually, on a personal level, as well as obviously for others in the community, and as well as obviously working for a tech company that provides these kinds of screens, there's some real vested interest, I think, in how we look at this and how we manage it. And like I said, I probably became very personally involved in this whole conversation because of that scenario. So yeah, and I'll give you some other interesting statistics around this sort of thing. So this was a report out of 2020. And as I just explained to you, they're saying the average screen time now is up to 13 hours a day. And that's an average, right? I mean, I don't think I'd quite hit 13 hours. I try to manage mine very well. Another interesting statistic was that 65% of all people complain of sore eyes, tired eyes, eye irritation, all these kinds of things. And that's an average. And depending on what the category was, it ranges between, say, 40 to 80% of effect in the study that they did. Now, I was expecting those numbers to be between sort of 10 and 20 or 30 maybe, but it was really significant. And probably the one that caught my eye the most was the fact that they were saying by 2050, 5 billion people will be short-sighted due to, or a contributing factor will be screen time and this damaging blue light when it's in those type of screens, because it's not in that clear spectrum as we talked about. So that's an extraordinary number. That's more than half our current population, and we're talking about a time period of just less than 30 years. So I've been having these conversations actually, and there's two things that have sort of struck me when I've been traveling around recently. One is I just don't think people know. They don't know about Eyesafe. I don't think they quite understand the effects. Everyone was probably just as surprised, and I'm sure you are too, at the size of these numbers, the impact that it has, or the potential impact it has. And I think that how we manage this from a HR and IT perspective is very, very important, particularly when we talk about students, when we talk about, your users in a company. You want to look after them. I think there's definitely an OH&S side to this as well. And there's no, like anything, whether we're talking about connections and connection speeds and LTE and RJ45 ports, there's no silver bullet to it. But I think there's many strategies you could employ. And so I'm certainly encouraging IT managers and HR managers to talk. So talk about, at what stage can we have our phones with blue light technology? What's the time period? So we set a time period of, say, 12 or 24 months or whatever. Same for all the other things in the company. Do we offer, everyone the opportunity to have blue light glasses or a subsidy towards that. We make sure we enforce with little posters on the wall the 20-20-20 rule, because that will help. All of these things will help. As I said, there's no silver bullet to it, but there's definitely ways and things we think we need to talk about in terms of managing this type of thing. Like I said, those numbers to me were, they're huge numbers and very surprising to me. And yeah, and the people most at risk are people under 25, and the most at risk out of all of them is 10-year-olds. And that's a little bit scary, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's to sort of use a pun, it's an eye-opening set of stats. and
it is very eye-opening.
If you damage your eyes, you could be left feeling blue.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've explained that there are good things about blue light. We know there are bad things about blue light. We should be limiting blue light. Blue light glasses can help, but that's something extra you've got to put on and wear. We know that employers should be putting in place various strategies to sort of enforce the breaks to make sure that the blue light, anti-blue light technologies are there. And we know that school children are obviously using more devices than ever before. And it's no surprise that that study came out in 2020 when we had the most amount of screen time ever, because we were all locked up at home watching TVs and phones and tablets. So what is Dynabook's solution to this problem?
Well, look, Dynabooks' solution to this problem is to start bringing out things that have Eyesafe approved technology. Because Eyesafe, as I said, it's a company that was built on scientists, doctors, all around providing standards, methodologies around managing this sort of stuff. So some of the things, that's recommended by Eyesafe, we're going to adhere to in our devices. So they recommend eye exams, limiting your screen time, using screen filters, having built-in technology, which is the part we can do from our side, which is great. Following that 20-20-20 rule, having anti-reflective lenses, computer glasses, the blue light glasses. So from our point of view, at a device level, we've just launched that X40L. So that's the lightest 14-inch product we've ever built. And outside of having, great features, and I've got one here beside me actually, just to remind me, outside of having great features like, 4 speakers, Dolby Atmos sound, this blue light Eyesafe technology built in, so you don't have to worry about glasses and filters. It has this technology built in. And I think there's a few important things. So, it's great to be safe, but it's also great that this technology, from our point of view, reduces the amount of harmful blue light. It's been Eyesafe approved, which is part of the standards. It redistributes that light energy to make it a more more even spectrum of light. And importantly, from a performance level, it maintains that color performance. So from our point of view, this is like the first one we've introduced. I can honestly say that I've been using it for about 3 weeks while I've been on our ANZ Roadshow at the moment, talking about everything. And I can clearly notice the difference. And this is just personal. I'm sure everyone will be affected a little bit differently. But from a guy who's, midlife, around that sort of 50 mark, I've 100% noticed my eyes aren't as sore. I actually really, really enjoy the screen. It provides, I'm not getting sore eyes. I'm not rubbing my eyes regularly like I probably do. In fact, when I have the two side by side now, I actually find the standard screen I'm using, it's a little bit offensive to my eyes. It becomes sore to look at quite quickly. Whereas this one, I can find myself working quite a while and I have no issue in and around that. So even at that personal level for me, it's fantastic. So, I've been talking to our other global product managers around the world and just saying, hey, this is probably bigger than we think, particularly once you start reading some of this detail we've just been discussing. So my question was, this is great. We've got it out there. I think part of our job right now is to educate people, make sure they understand some of these statistics, these effects that they have, and then get them to experience some of these technologies for themselves. Because I think once you've done it, like I've just done for the last 3 weeks, you go, oh, wow, that is actually a huge difference. And I don't want our sort of young population running around being short-sighted. So I think there's a real sort of duty of care here. So and then I think then the evolutionary part will come and go, okay, so at what stage we'll be implementing it in all the different platforms
I was
that
going
we
to
have.
ask, yeah.
13-inch, 14-inch, 15-inch. So I've had that conversation already. And I think what I'm saying is we're right at the start of this sort of process, I think. And my advice to schools and companies I've been talking to over the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular on this ANZ Roadshow is to say, hey, let's talk about how we manage this, right? Because the reality is I can't give you all built-in technology today. But it's the start of this. It's about probably setting up some standards, having a clear path to when you have that built-in technology, what you can offer in the meantime, make sure you're enforcing messages around, good practice and how to sort of limit that strain on your eyes. Because like I said, 5 billion by 2050 is an extraordinary number, which I was astounded by. So I think we're at the tip of the iceberg right now. And I think our job at the moment is to get people to experience it and start talking about how we implement over time, because it's not going to happen overnight. This is in my head, it's probably a 2 to 5 year plan about when you could sort of start adopting it.
So with the filter technology, is that something that's built in? Like, for example, on my computer here, I have a privacy filter, but I know that you can buy these things for blue light filters as well, and you can add them to your existing devices. But on this new 14-inch, is that something you can turn on and off if you wanted to, or is it always permanently on? And also, you mentioned that it doesn't affect color. So does that mean you still get the Pantone colors if you're a designer, for example?
Yeah, so what was important is to maintain color performance. So it maintains color performance, which is fantastic. So, the contrast is everything there. Like I said, I don't find any difference using that between a normal screen and one
aside
that has
from the
Eyesafe
comfort
technology.
of your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously. Yeah, 100%. But there's no performance difference is the important part. So,
it's built in,
I think everyone needs
to the screen. It's just built in.
Yeah, it's built into the screen. It's not something you can turn on and off.
Yeah.
It's just there. Which I think actually, I don't know that you want to be able to turn it on and off. I think it needs to be on, always on, because, I don't think you need to be wanting to turn it on and off. I think it just needs to be there to make you as safe as possible.
So which is the next device that you think that will join the 14-inch to have Eyesafe? Is it just going to be the next yearly product refreshes over time?
Yeah, like I said, we're at the tip of the iceberg right now. Our job right now is to get people to experience it, talk to them about some of these stats and figures, so they understand the importance of it, and then start helping them implement a plan. From my point of view, I mean, the obvious thing to do would be to have it on education-specific products, because they're the group that are most affected by blue light. So to me, that's the obvious answer. Whether that comes to fruition that way, often these things are driven by volume and who finds it important, who doesn't. But like I said, I would say that a lot of the people I've been talking to recently would probably generally say, oh, look, I know that blue light can be good. I know it can also be harmful, but they have no idea around the stats, no idea around how important it is. So when I've been talking about some of these facts and figures, as I've been talking to you today, people have been genuinely wide-eyed.
Surprised. Surprised.
Yeah, genuinely surprised. Like, and as we talked about, those numbers are huge. And I'll actually just read a couple more out to you, because it is important. So sleep disruption, 76% of people were saying they had sleep disruption from this.
Yeah, which is what I was saying before, with the fact that if you're looking at your device or your laptop at night and you haven't got a blue light filter, then that you get sleep disruption. Yeah.
Well, actually, and that's a really important thing. I know it is on some screens today. So, one of the damaging things is you have your screen on full brightness and you're in a dark room. That's not good, because you kind of, it's like deer in a headlight sort of scenario. It's really not good. So you need to have remember, we're talking about spectrum light, so it's important to have other ambient light around, so it's not so offensive, I suppose. So things like that can actually make a difference as well. Tired and sore eyes, 77% of people. Dry eyes, 70% of people. Headaches, 63%. Reduced productivity, so people obviously getting sore and having to actually have an extended break because their eyes can't cope with that amount of screen time. So that's 46% of people. So that's like 50% of people, right? That's a lot of people going, well, I can't work anymore. My eyes are too sore. I've got to go and have an extended break, sort of regather myself and let my eyes have a little bit of a break. So, reduced concentration, 43%. So, by the way, and I would encourage your viewers and anyone who gets to watch this or gets to talk to us over the coming months, go and have a look on the Eyesafe technology website. So it's just eyesafe.com. I noticed that they run out of Minneapolis in the US. But yeah, like all this information, you could read up on this, would take you 10 minutes, and I guarantee you'll be sitting there wide-eyed going, wow, I had no idea of the kind of impact this has had, and hopefully you'll start thinking about what you can do to start to reverse some of these trends. So yeah.
And look, I'm sure a lot of people also have heard about it. I mean, I've heard about the blue light dangers for years, and I've got the blue light glasses, and there are other various blue light glasses that I've purchased, and I remember seeing a demo of someone shining like a laser, and it was like a blue light laser, and when you could see the laser going through the glasses, when it was regular glasses you could see the blue, but when it was through the blue light glasses it was a different color that was coming through. So a lot of people would have heard about this, and it's great to see that finally we've got computer manufacturers. I mean, I think Dynabook's the first one I've heard of that's actually implementing a blue light filter. There must be other ones out there, but it's the vast majority is not.
Yeah, look, what I've found interesting is just talking to channel partners and user groups and education, corporate, everyone. Interestingly, we seem to be the only ones talking about it. Now, I'm not sure why that is exactly, but I guess that probably comes back to being a mobile specialist. That making sure we've been in this industry 37 years making computers, and I'm certainly seeing the importance of it, and everyone I'm talking to is as well. So yeah, look, there are products out there, but as I said, it's kind of in its infancy in terms of how much is available for users. And I really just hope that people sort of start demanding that as a technology and a requirement over time, because it's important for all of us, right? So yeah.
Well, Matthew, I hope that as many people as possible see the light, realize they have to block it.
yeah.
The blue light at least. I mean, sometimes the only good blue light is a blue light disco. So,
well, and I encourage people to have a good read up on it. Maybe talk to people like yourselves. I'm happy to take calls on this because I'm going to tell you, I've become quite passionate about it because I think it's really important. I really do. I really think it's important. So, I'm happy to talk about all sorts of things because I've probably learned more in the last 3 months on this than I have about any topic for a while, to be honest. So I mean, it's been interesting to talk to others about what kind of strategies they have. So I want to ask you. So you've got the blue light glasses there, right?
I normally wear these all the time, but I don't wear them when I'm doing video interviews. And you can see my.
Oh, I think they look smart. They look good on that.
But you can also see the reflection of the ring lights that I have there, which is so these ones are anti-glare, anti-blue light. They were anti-fogging. And they had these protection that were called Stoggles. So it's a brand that was sold in America. But I used to have this XY or something. It was a brand, Exergy or something. They had these blue light glasses. I gave them to my sister because she was having the dry eye issue. So I've known about this for quite some time. And I mean, I know Apple a few years ago and Android started to offer the ability for the screen to go pinker or warmer, and you could set the different colors.
Correct.
There were some people saying that there's no firm news on whether that really does work. So that's why I've always sort of used the blue light glasses, because if I've got it there, it doesn't matter what screen I'm looking at, I'm being protected. But I guess you shouldn't also wear glasses all the time too if you need to see the blue light from the sun. If it's being blocked, that's a bad thing as well. So everything in moderation, as they say.
Yeah, and I'd read about it as well, but I've since tried some blue glasses as well, just for the other screens other than our beautiful X40L that we've got here. So, but I've definitely noticed the difference on all of those screens. So yeah,
and I know it's an option when you buy new glasses that you can have nowadays. You can have the blue light filter applied. So definitely people should check that out. And if your computer or devices come with blue light built in, so much the blocking built in, so much the better.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Matthew Tumminello, ANZ product marketing manager at Dynabook, not Toshiba, Dynabook. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing the light with us, and the reasons why you need to block it. And I look forward to seeing it being, disseminated throughout your product range over time. But congratulations on having it in your 14-inch world's lightest model.
Thanks so much, and always a pleasure talking to you, Alex. I appreciate the time.
Likewise. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you later.